Hi there. Hope you're doing well. And my name is Mike, known as Diabetic Mike. Be sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe if you're taking a look at this live stream. In the comments, drop live if you're watching live. If you're catching the replay, drop replay down in the comments. Would love to hear from you. Be sure to allow StreamYard to access your Facebook profile so that I can see who commented so that I can reply back to you if you have any questions. So tonight, let's talk a little bit about diabetic overwhelm. So if you're feeling frustrated that with this diagnosis of diabetes or pre-diabetes, whether that's type 1, type 2, or somewhere in between, then you are not alone. If you're feeling angry and scared at all this, you're angry because you've done everything that you're supposed to. You've followed, the standard American diet, and still you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, you're overweight, you're in poor health, you just don't feel good, and you don't know why. It's okay. Things are going to be okay. I was there with you. I was diagnosed when I was 23. I'm now 51. So I've had 25 plus years of being a type 1 diabetic. So I understand where you're at. If, that frustration of where do I begin? What do I do? The scariness of, am I going to be okay? Am I going to, lose a limb? Am I going to have neuropathy? In my feet and in my hands, and how does that affect me, and what is all that, and how do you count carbs, and what am I supposed to eat, and is this good for me, is that bad for me? It's okay. Slow down, take a breath. It took you a long time probably to get there, and unless you're type 1 and you were born with it, it took you a minute to get there, and it's not entirely your fault that it happen to you. Some of it is your lifestyle, things that you're eating, how much carbs you're taking in. But diabetes isn't necessarily about your diet and exercise and all that. Some of it is predisposition, and some of it is kind of built into us from caveman days. Those kinds of things, from back in the day when we were hunter gatherers and looking for stuff. It was a way for our body to protect ourselves. And now that we have plenty of food everywhere, we just overindulge. And that's part of, unfortunately, the standard American diet is filled with carbohydrates and sugars and hidden fats and hidden salt. And all of those things that if we had it in moderation, we would be fine. But we don't, because it's hidden from us. And if you've never taken the time to understand what a food label is and look at ingredients and ingredient lists and all of that, and now you're here, overweight, tired, possibly hungry, not sure where to begin, you're in the right place. Again, my name is Mike Randall, and I am a diabetic, and I'm here to help you out. So sit back, relax, watch, and here's some first steps that you can take as a newly diagnosed diabetic or pre-diabetic to help get things rolling. So first off, don't jump in unless that's the only way that you can do it. I would say pick one thing and do it really well. And then when that becomes a habit, do something else and do it really well until it's another habit. So I would say the first thing you need to start with is cut out one thing from your diet that is bad for you, that you shouldn't be having, that's full of sugar, full of carbohydrates, because we want to bring down your blood sugars to help get your body start to realign and refocus itself the way that it should be, especially if you're type 2 diabetic, especially, so that you can bring those sugar levels and that A1C, if that's how you were diagnosed, was with your A1C. Hopefully you weren't hospitalized because your blood sugar was out of control. Hopefully it was just, standard, went to see your doctor did some blood work and they did an A1C and, checked your blood sugar glucose levels. And they said, well, you're pretty high. So if that's, that's good. I'm sorry if you ended up hospitalized or emergency department because you had too high blood sugar, or maybe you had too low blood sugar. So here's like, first thing, cut out something. So if you like soda, regular soda pop, cut it out. No more Coke, no more Pepsi, the sugar kind. If you want to switch to diet to kind of wean yourself off, go right ahead. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of my last little vices is Diet Pepsi. I love Diet Pepsi. Not a big Coke fan, and I know probably more people are Coke fans than Pepsi fans, but that's just me. So no sugar drinks. So cut out the soda, and do that for 21 days. 21 days starts your mind thinking and your body thinking, oh, this is becoming a habit. And you may start to notice that you feel really woozy and your vision may get a little bit of whiteout because your sugars are coming back to normal. So when you first start to lower your blood sugars, it's going to feel like you're having a low blood sugar and you're going to want to eat. Check your blood sugar with your meter. You got to have a meter. So that's number 2. Get a glucometer and you're going to have to do finger sticks. I know it sucks. It hurts. Did it for years, not well always, but did it for years. And it's going to be a big help. So if you're starting to feel weird and like you're going to be sick and like you need to eat, check your blood sugar because you might just be going into a normal range, but because your blood sugars have been so high, your body thinks you're having a low. So you're going to have to set and get used to the new thermostat number that your body is trying to figure out. So wherever your numbers are at, so you want to shoot, normal is between 75 and 80, maybe 90 for somebody who's not diabetic. Definitely 75 to 80 if you're normal, no diabetes whatsoever. So if you've been typically in the 200s, 250s, 300s, and now you're starting to be in the low 200s, the mid 100s, 150s that you've never been in before, you're going to feel like you're having a low and it's going to suck. You're going to feel really unwell, but you just kind of got to work through it until your body starts to feel normal. And that's why you got to check your blood sugar to make sure you're not going to eat something and then push your blood sugar back up again, which defeats the purpose. So that first month of regulating your blood sugars and your diet is going to be difficult. But again, one thing, start with something that you shouldn't probably have. So if you like soda, cut out soda. If you're snacking on chips, candy bars, things like that, cut that out. Now, you can snack, you just have to snack on the right things. So if you want to snack, have a protein snack. So eat, like a string cheese or something like that, something that's got protein, a quarter of a protein bar, those kinds of things to help satiate your desire to eat something, but you're not eating something loaded with carbohydrates and refined sugars and processed food. You're eating something that's going to help you. You will also notice that the more protein you eat, and I'm not talking caveman or keto diet, but the more protein you eat, higher levels of protein will help you lose weight. Your body will start to regulate and burn the fat and use the protein to build muscle. So you may actually gain a little weight because you're starting to build muscle rather than fat, storing fat, but that's okay. If you want to talk weight loss, we can talk about that in another video. So 1, take out one thing and do it well until you're ready to take out the next thing. 2, go slow. Just, one thing at a time. Like I said, go slow and check your blood sugars. That's number 2. Check your blood sugars. Number 3 that you want to do is plan. you're going to have to, if you're not used to being scheduled, you're going to need to be scheduled as a diabetic. I know that may not be fun, but you should be getting up at the same time every morning and trying to go to bed at the same time every night. And you're going to want to check your blood sugars. So if you're newly diagnosed type 2 diabetic, pre-diabetic, you're going to want to check your blood sugars 3 times a day. First, when you get up in the morning to see what your fasting blood sugar is. So you haven't eaten since like 8 o'clock the night before at the latest. You really should not eat after 8 o'clock as a diabetic, if you can help it. So when you get up in the morning, check your blood sugar. One of the first things you do, do your morning routine, bathroom, all of that. Weigh yourself if you need to, and then check your blood sugar, see where you're at. And then, any medications that you've been prescribed and all that, then, go about doing that. Then you want to check again, probably lunchtime when you're, right before you're getting ready to eat, see where you're at right in there. And then again at bedtime, just to kind of see where you're at bedtime. So that and then you can kind of judge how things are working with diet and maybe some exercise. Now, so that's, like I said, number 3. Number 4 is exercise. Yes, you need exercise, but I'm not talking going out and getting a gym membership and, running a 4-minute mile on the treadmill. Don't do that. Your body probably, 1, isn't used to it, and 2, you're setting yourself up for failure if you go do that. Don't do that. You want to start walking, and you want to see how many steps you can get a day. Now, if you're not used to walking every day and you don't know how many steps you normally get in a day, it's going to take, probably 3 or 4 days to figure out what your baseline for everyday walking is. So if you have a desk jockey job where you're sitting behind a desk all day long, you're probably not going to have a whole lot of steps. You're probably going to get your steps either walking into work, walking out of work, moving around your house. That's where you're gonna get your steps. So you want to do a weekend, and then 2 or 3 days when you're at work. Now, if you have a job where you're up and moving and out and about and walking around because you're doing service industry or things like that, then you definitely will have more steps in. So you want to figure out what your baseline is, and then you want to add maybe 2,000 or 3,000 more steps to get in every day, and look for those opportunities. So if that means parking a little farther away in the parking lot and walking in to work, or getting out and walking around the block after dinner with your family, then that's a great way to do that. Simple things. We're not talking lots of strenuous exercise and lifting weights, and while all that is good, and if that's something you want to do, please do it, but I'm not suggesting you need to do that. And for some of you, you may not be able to do that, if because of changes that have happened to you in life. I'm that way. I can't. It's not that I can't. It's very difficult for me to walk. I do have some neuropathy, and because of my diabetes, I do have some cardiovascular issues, which makes it more difficult for me to walk, I guess, consistently for lengthy periods of time. So there, or you may have some sort of inner ear issue or some sort of other chronic disease that causes you not to have good balance. So that may be more difficult for you, but if you can try and move your large muscle groups every day, and if you can get towards 10,000 steps a day, you're doing great. Obviously, the more steps you do, the better off you're going to be. But again, it doesn't have to be strenuous. So those are the 4 things that you want to start off doing as a newly diagnosed diabetic. Simple little things that you can do every day. So you're, at work, put it into your calendar, schedule some time out to go take, like a 15, 20-minute break and go walk around the office if you're sitting behind a desk. Go down a couple floors on the stairs and back up if you work in a large office building, not the elevator, but the stairs. And then, and come back up. If that seems too strenuous, just literally walk around the office. It's that just to get some movement and get some practice, and do it a couple times a day, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, especially if you have that sleepy time. in the afternoon, which is unfortunately part of diabetic fatigue. If you are full-blown diabetic, it is a real thing. So, you know, just do those 4 little simple things if you've been diagnosed. It'll help reduce the walking will help reduce your stress, which will help with the overwhelm, help with the frustration. Take your time and then start to find things that you know are healthier that you like to eat and go from there. So that's a bonus number 5. Find things that you like to eat that you know are healthy. You know, check out Google low glycemic foods, and you'll probably find stuff that you like. You can also check out my little shorts and reels on my socials and see what I have for meal ideas and low glycemic snacks and those things. Those are all there for you to take a look at and drop comments, ask questions. Would love to hear from you. So please, again, like, share, subscribe, follow, and let me know what you think. Drop live if you're watching live, drop replay in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. So thank you. Have a great night, and I'm here for you.